Hi guys, so my name is Dr. Marcella Smith. I am the MSW Program Director. I'm going to be doing the orientation this morning. Orientation is required before you can register for classes. So I know someone's here on their phone. If you can write in the chat, write your name in the chat. That way we have a record of who attended the orientation. Because you won't get your permits to register for class if we don't have record that you attended. Now, for the ones that have their names listed on the actual Zoom picture, that's fine. You don't have to write your name because it'll show who all logged in. But for the phone number, it'll probably just show up a phone number and we wouldn't know who that is. So just to make sure we know who attended, please go ahead and write your name in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and upload the PowerPoint here. Today's orientation is basically so that you can get the requirements for the program, so that you can know, what we expect of you from the graduate school, what are some of our accreditation requirements, and to make sure everybody gets the same information. That way everybody gets the same information at the same time and there's no misinformation out there. So we're going to talk about the School of Social Work. We're going to talk about the specific curriculum requirements. We're going to talk about policies and expectation, and then we're going to talk about some other things as well. So the A&M School of Social Work is located in the College of Education and Human Services. So we are in that Henderson building is what we call it. We have a BSW program that we offer on the main campus. We also offer it at our Mesquite campus, and then we offer it at Frisco. The MSW program, we have the foundation program, which you guys are in right now. This is our generalist program, and currently it's only offered online. So MSW Foundation is for students who do not have a bachelor's in social work, or their bachelor's in social work is older than 6 years, or something like that. Or if they got their bachelor's in social work from like a university that's not accredited by CSWE. Then we have our MSW Advanced Generalists, and this is for students who have their BSW, so they have a bachelor's in social work from an accredited university, and you guys will get there once you complete your foundation program. So the advanced program is offered on our main campus in Commerce. It's offered in Mesquite and the Czech Center, as well as online. However, this summer, all our classes are online, but we do expect to go back to face-to-face in the fall. Our mission is to educate professional social workers from an advanced generalist perspective with the knowledge and skills and values to be visionary leaders and to be change agents who will use and develop resources to improve the lives of all people in a global world. So our accreditation comes from two sources. We are accredited by SACS, and we're fully accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. And this is important because, like I just mentioned before, if you get like a bachelor's degree from a university that's not accredited, now you had to do a foundation program. Or if you get your MSW from a university that is not accredited, you wouldn't be able to get licensed. So you wouldn't be able to be a licensed social worker. So it's really important that when you're looking at your MSW program, that you pick a program that's accredited by the CSWE. Here is the list of our social work faculty. Dr. Rebecca Judd is our department head, and she's an associate professor. We have Mr. Brian Brumley, and he is the field director. You guys won't have him in an orientation this semester. You'll probably hear from him next semester as you prepare to do your orientation for your foundation field. Here are some other professors that you're probably going to have in the program. Dr. Brunel, Ms. Hernandez, Dr. May is one of our clinical professors. He teaches a lot of the clinical classes. Dr. Mercado Sierra, Dr. Moore, Miss Nelson, she is an instructor, but she teaches mostly at the Metroplex, which is the MSW, the Mesquite location. And I am the program director. And then Miss Randy Wright, she is our BSW director. So you probably won't have her in any classes because she teaches mostly of the BSW classes. Here is our social work staff. We have Miss Vicki Anderson. She is our department administrative associate, and she's also the field coordinator. So you may hear from her with things related to field. So you'll start getting emails from her maybe at the end of the semester, closer to when you're starting field in the spring. So you'll probably hear from her closer to either the ending of fall, beginning of spring to talk about field. Miss Janice Circles, you guys probably all got an email from her so far. She is our MSW admissions program coordinator, and so she does all the admissions for the MSW program. And then we also have Miss Wendy Nutt, which she deals mostly with the BSW program. Here is our phone numbers where you can reach us. Mr. Brumley, Miss Vicki Anderson, like I said, she helps with fields, so you'll probably have contact with her later on. Any questions about MSW program classes, your degree plan, things like that, you'll reach out to me for that. And then Miss Janice Circles, she is the person who sends out permits for class. And so you'll have a lot of emails from her as well, and you'll probably need to contact her on several occasions. So let's talk about the curriculum a little bit. So with the Foundation Generalist program, we, like I mentioned before, this is for, people without a BSW degree or someone from a program that wasn't accredited. The way our program works is our classes are offered only in a given semester. So for example, summer classes are only available in the summer, or fall classes are only offered in the fall, spring classes are only offered in the spring. And so with foundation students, basically, if you're full-time, you take 4 classes, but our field class for foundation is offered in the spring. And since you're taking classes in the summer, you would have to start off part-time in the summer. So everybody in foundation will start off part-time in the summer if you start in the summer. You can take 2 classes in the summer, but if you don't want to stay part-time, you can definitely change over to full-time in the fall and take all 4 of your classes, okay? If you take all 4 of your classes in the fall, then you'll be good to take all 4 of your classes in the spring. If you are a foundation part-time student, you will take 2 classes throughout the whole program, okay? So the foundation program is basically a 2-year program. So you'll take 1 full year of foundation classes, and once you're done with that full year, you start the year of advanced practice, okay? It's 24 hours for the foundation and then 36 hours for your AGP concentration to get a total of 60 hours from the MSW program. Like I mentioned before, we offer our program in several locations. However, we also offer a fully online program. Now, foundation is only online right now, but in the future, we may offer foundation face-to-face, and then, so it probably won't apply to you guys right now. You'll have to do that online. But in the future, we'll probably have foundation offered face-to-face as well. Now, because you start off as a foundation student, which is completely online, if you're a student who wants to do face-to-face class, you'll have that option once you've completed all your foundation classes to go ahead and transfer over to face-to-face classes. Now, we don't allow students to do some of their classes face-to-face, some of their classes online. You either choose to be completely online or completely face-to-face. Now, here's what your classes would look like. So this would be for anyone who is considering doing part-time. And like I said, everybody will start off part-time because you're starting off in the summer. So this is where you're starting right here. You're starting in the summer, so you'll be taking 510, which is practice in mental health, and you'll take your social work elective 597. So these are the only 2 classes everyone in this group should be able to take. 510 and 597, because those are the only two classes that foundation students can take before completing all their foundation classes. The second year, not the second year, your second semester will be fall. And even though this says fall first year, this is what you're going to take. So you're going to take, if you're part-time, let's say you decide to stay part-time, you will take 501 and 511. And then your spring, you will take 503 and 513. And then, so that's your first full year. So then your second year, you'll move on to summer, which you won't have any classes if you stay part-time, because foundation students have to take all foundation classes before they can move on to AGP. But if you're part-time, you wouldn't have any classes in your second summer, only in the first summer. So then you would skip summer. You would skip summer of, this would be summer 22. You would skip that summer with no classes, and then you would take classes in the fall, and that would be 2 classes, 531 and 541. And then your final foundation classes, spring 22, which would be 521, and your foundation field. Now, like I mentioned before, if you started, you're starting part-time in the summer, but if you say, I want to be a full-time student, that's what I want to do, but I have to start part-time in the summer because I can only take those 2 classes. Then you would take those 2 classes in the summer, and here's what your full-time would look like. So then in the fall, you would take 501, 511, 531, and 541. So you would take 4 classes in the fall, and you would take your full 4 classes in the spring, which is 503, 513, 521, and 553, which is field, and you would be done with your foundation in 1 year. If you're part-time, foundation takes 2 years, okay? And that's perfectly fine. Some people are only part-time and some people are full-time. But I just want to make it very clear that you don't have to stay part-time just because you have to start part-time in the summer, because some people get confused with that. And then when they realize that it's going to take them 4 years to graduate, they're like, well, nobody told me, but I'm telling you guys, you can switch to full-time in the fall, okay? So basically, this is what you would look like if you're a full-time student. You're taking 2 this summer, you would take your 4 in the fall and your 4 in the spring, and then you would be done with your foundation courses. Then you will take another orientation for your AGP classes. And then we would talk about what your AGP schedule looks like. And again, it would look the same way. Our classes are offered, like I said, fall, spring, and summer, only in those semesters. So you would either take 4 classes if you're full-time for each semester, fall, spring, and summer, or 2 classes if you're part-time. Any questions before I go on? You guys are welcome to ask questions as I go along, or you can just wait till the end. It doesn't bother me. Okay, so here's your registration information. The way our program works, you have to get permits for all your classes. So each semester, you're going to have to get permitted for a class. So we never have to worry about, oh, the class is full, or I'm not going to get into the class, because we know how many people register, so we know how many sections we need for each class. So you don't ever have to worry about a class getting full. So after this orientation, you guys are going to go into the course Social Work 500, and you're going to download all of the orientation documents. You're going to sign them. Your degree plan will be there. Your acknowledgement form will be there. Download all of those forms, sign them, and there's a folder where you're going to also put those in, okay? Once those are completed, Ms. Janice circles, and I know it says here email request to her. You're going to email your request after she sends it to you. So once you upload your documents, she's going to download them from there, and that way she can know who attended orientation. She'll also know who completed all her documents. You won't get any permits unless you've completed this orientation and downloaded all your documents and signed them, okay? Once you do that, she will email you permit worksheets. You will get that worksheet, you'll fill out the classes that you're taking. And again, remember, everybody in this group should be taking 510 and 597. So you'll fill out the worksheet, put 510 and 597 on that worksheet, and then you will email it to her, okay? So the degree plan, that is one of the documents that are in that folder. Your degree plan basically have all your classes laid out the way you're going to take them. So you'll have the degree plan for you. You're going to pick the one that says foundation degree plan. And what you'll do is you'll ignore the top section that says spring and fall because we're not there yet. But since you're starting in the summer, you'll have to go down to the second box and you'll pick those two classes. You'll see 510 and 597 will be there. And you can just fill that out and put, summer 21 on there. You will sign your degree plan and you're also going to upload that so she can see that that's the plan you're working on. So the degree plan will have part-time and full-time. Just pick the one that, just fill out the one that you're doing. So even if you're going to be a full-time student, go ahead and fill out just the full-time section. Don't fill out the part-time, okay? So all coursework on your degree plan must be completed, or you have to be in your final semester before you can apply for graduation, okay? So you wouldn't have to worry about applying for graduation until, depending on whether you're part-time or full-time, that may be a little different. But your last semester of classes is when you apply for graduation. Here's a very important thing. Your degree plan is very important. A lot of students just fill it out the first time and then they never look at it again. Well, your degree plan has all your classes laid out the way you need to take them, and that's a guide for you to show you what classes you need to take. Any changes that you make needs to be in writing, and it needs to happen one semester before those changes need to happen. So for example, you're all starting part-time. So if you know that you're a full-time student, you need to let me know that you're going to be full-time in the fall. Let's say you decided to change later on. You need to do the same thing. Email me and let me know, hey, I'm changing from full-time to part-time, or I'm changing from part-time to full-time, and things like that. So those emails come directly to me. Any changes at all, I need to know about. So for example, let's say you are online because foundation is online, but let's say you wanted to do face-to-face for your AGP. Then you would let me know that that's what you're doing so we can change your degree plan as well. It's your responsibility to keep up with your degree plan, okay? You can print it, you can save it on your computer, just have it in different places, that way you can keep a copy of it. So here's your calendar. Classes start June 7th. So the last day to register without any late fees is going to be June 4th. The last day of classes is August 12th, and then finals week is that week of the 9th through the 13th, and then graduation August 14th, but you don't have to worry about that because this is your first semester. But classes start June 7th, and I guess June 7th and June 4th should be important because just know that you need to register by June 4th if you don't want to pay a late fee. So let's talk about some of our policies. In the MSW program, graduate level program, you are not allowed to get a C in your field courses. So when you do field, you need to make a B or above, okay? If you make a C in your field, you'll have to retake field. You also have to have a GPA for 3.0 to graduate. So let's say last semester the semester before graduation, you have a GPA of a 2.9, 2.8. That's a problem. You have to have a GPA of a 3.0 to graduate. Also, your GPA, if your GPA drops below a 3.0, you're going to be placed on academic probation. So really, you need to have a GPA of a 3.0 throughout the program. Let's say the first semester, you did the first semester of classes and your GPA was less than 3.0. You're going to be placed on probation. And you're going to have to try to make that GPA go up higher, or at least to go back up to a 3.0 the following semester. If not, I think after that, it's like suspension, and you wouldn't be able to take classes for a couple semesters. If you get a C in 4 graduate courses, you're suspended for 3 years. So usually you're allowed up to 3 C's in the entire program. However, if you get your 4th C, that's where you can get suspended for 3 years. You would have to retake any C's that you've made. So you have to retake that 4th C, okay? Okay, so the Code of Conduct. So every social work student follows the NSW Code of Ethics. So here is the link, and basically in one of the forms that you have to fill out, it'll have all of that there as well. So you get to read that and sign it that you understand. As an MSW student, we expect you to attend class. Right now, with everything being online, attendance is a little bit different than face-to-face, but attendance is still mandatory. You're still expected to log into your online classes. If there's any discussions, if there are any Zoom meetings that you participate. And while you do that, we also expect you to provide appropriate verbal and nonverbal interactions with your peers and your instructor. We expect you to be involved in all of the class activities, and I expect you to be attentive to class as well. Your outside behavior and interactions with other people outside of your classroom, again, just acceptable behavior. Be courteous to your instructor and others, be respectful. And also when it comes to feedback from your instructor or even from other people, whether make sure that you seek and respond appropriately to those feedback. Electronic communication. Here it's mostly for face-to-face classes. We expect you to basically, turn off your phone during class and things like that. But for you who are online, it's a little bit different. However, we still have to think about how you respond to email and text messages and even things that you post on social media. Those all need to be in a professional and respectful way, because that reflects on you as a student at A&M Commerce. So just be careful what you post out there, especially being in the social work program. You're training to be a social worker. And so it's very important that you're aware of what you're posting and how it might affect, other people, as well as how it's going to look on you and the university. Academic dishonesty is a serious issue. It's a serious problem. Just don't do it. There are policies at the graduate school policy level and then at the department level. If an instructor finds out that a student cheated, or if they plagiarized their paper or anything like that, it gets written up. It gets sent over to, the graduate school, and then the graduate school has their own policy on that. You don't want to be on that list, okay? I guess your first offense, as your first offense may be less than if you do it more than once, but you just don't want your name on that list at all. It will affect you. So please just don't do it. Like for example, if you're just not sure about plagiarism and what all that includes, discuss it with your instructor before, you write a paper. Get feedback from them, okay? And then on a test, you don't want to copy or cheat on a test either, because it's just as bad as plagiarism on a paper. And then I guess this one applies mostly to, face-to-face students again with, with face-to-face classes. If you have a disability or need any accommodations for a disability, you will have to request this through the Academic Support Committee. Here's their information, and you can have access to this PowerPoint also in the course, 500 course. But yes, if you need any kind of accommodations, please reach out to the office and they'll set it up for you, and then they'll reach out to your instructors as to what accommodations you need. Don't just go to your professor and say, I need extra time on tests because of this disability. Just don't do that, because a professor will tell you, go to the Office of Disabilities, because there's nothing that they can do unless they get that letter from the Office of Disabilities. So please reach out to them first instead of going to your professor. Here are some links that may be helpful for you. The university homepage, MyLEO. I'm pretty sure you all logged into MyLEO to be able to get to your D2L course. MyLEO is where you're going to log into your classes. You're going to be able to register. So it's very important that you're aware of what you're posting and how it might affect, other people, as well as how it's going to look on you and the university. Academic dishonesty is a serious issue. It's a serious problem. Just don't do it. There are policies at the graduate school policy level and then at the department level. If an instructor finds out that a student cheated, or if they plagiarize their paper or anything like that, it gets written up. It gets sent over to, the graduate school, and then the graduate school has their own policy on that. You don't want to be on that list, okay? I guess your first offense, as your first offense may be less than if you do it more than once, but you just don't want your name on that list at all. It will affect you. So please just don't do it. Like for example, if you're just not sure about plagiarism and what all that includes, discuss it with your instructor before, you write a paper. Get feedback from them, okay? And then on a test, you don't want to copy or cheat on a test either, because it's just as bad as plagiarism on a paper. And then I guess this one applies mostly to, face-to-face students again with, with face-to-face classes. If you have a disability or need any accommodations for a disability, you will have to request this through the Academic Support Committee. Here's their information, and you can have access to this PowerPoint also in the course, 500 course. But yes, if you need any kind of accommodations, please reach out to the office and they'll set it up for you, and then they'll reach out to your instructors as to what accommodations you need. Don't just go to your professor and say, I need extra time on tests because of this disability. Just don't do that, because a professor will tell you, go to the Office of Disabilities, because there's nothing that they can do unless they get that letter from the Office of Disabilities. So please reach out to them first instead of going to your professor. Here are some links that may be helpful for you. The university homepage, MyLEO. I'm pretty sure you all logged into MyLEO to be able to get to your D2L course. MyLEO is where, you're going to log into your classes. You're going to be able to register for your classes there. You're going to use that a lot. And then here's the library database. Here's the list or the cost, or at least an estimate of what the cost is to attend. If you're a full-time student taking 12 hours, it's roughly about $46.31 plus books and parking. I think I also provided a link here, and I kind of double checked it. In the summer, it looked like it was a couple $100 less. It was like 43 something. So you may want to take a look at that, and you can calculate how much depending on how many hours you're taking. Here's financial aid information, their phone number, their email, mailing address, even the website. If you need anything for financial aid, you'll have to reach out to that office. In the social work program, or even me as the MSW director, I don't have information about how the financial aid works and the requirements and things like that. So I always get questions from students that I don't know how to answer from financial aid. So if you have any financial aid questions, please reach out to the financial aid office. We only deal with our actual program. So questions about classes or when to take what class and anything that relates just to our program, then you would reach out to us. So you guys won't be doing field orientation just yet. I think you get to do that in the spring. Wait, you start orientation, you're going to start field in the spring. So you're probably going to do your field orientation in the fall semester. And our field director is Mr. Brumley, and any field question that you may have, you should send that to him as well. They'll be able to answer that for you. I guess the way field works, you basically, we have a list of field agencies that you can select from. However, you can also come up with your own agencies, or because of COVID right now, you are able to use your employment as your placement, where you can actually use your job as your hours. But it has to be like a social work job. So it has to be like, a social work job, and then you'll be able to use those work hours for your actual internship. So you wouldn't be doing two separate things, okay? But you can get more information about that later on in the fall as you prepare to get ready for field. All right, so now that we went over all that information, remember what I said, you'll have to log back into your 500 course. Then you'll download all of the documents there. There's an acknowledgement form, which you fill out that, yes, I attended orientation. There's the student code of conduct form that you're going to read and sign. And then there's a degree plan, either part-time or full-time. So basically, when you download that form, you can always just delete the one that you don't need. So you'll have both part-time and full-time, but just keep the one that you need and delete the other, okay? Because you don't need to fill out both. So once you do all that, you can complete those electronically, and what you'll do is you'll upload those forms back into the folder. I need to double check that I do have a separate folder for that, but it'll say upload your documents here, and you upload them there, and then Janet Circles is going to be able to get those documents, and she'll process those, and once she has all those, she'll send you your worksheet for permits. Now, I know some of you are going to be emailing and say, when can I register for class, or when can I get the permits for class? She won't send this out until everyone has done it. So each of you on here need to go on there, download your forms, fill it out, and upload it. Once she has everyone's completed, then she'll do all of them together. So it's a possibility that it's going to take a couple days because someone didn't put it in yet. And I think looking at the list on here, I'm not sure if everybody's on here. So I think there was supposed to be 11 people on here. I'm not sure. I can't see right now since I'm sharing my screen how many is on here. But if some people missed orientation, then they'll probably have to come watch this video and fill out the paperwork and all of that. So that may set some of you back. I'm not sure if she just goes ahead and fills out the permits for everybody that attended today or not. But like I said, she tries to do those all together. So it may take a few days before she gets that out to you guys, or it may even be next week before she emails you permits. But just remember, don't worry about it. We're never going to run out of class. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm not going to be able to make, or classes is going to get full. You don't have to worry about that. We know exactly what classes you need and how many students we have. So we know exactly how many sections we need to open up. And so you don't have to worry about that. She'll email you your permits, and then you'll fill out the classes you need. And if you're unsure, just email me. I know on your degree plan, it tells you summer. It won't have the dates. It won't say summer 21. It'll just say summer. But just so if you're not sure, like, do I take this summer or next summer, reach out to me and I'll tell you. But remember, everyone on here should be taking 510 and 597 if you're a foundation student. Hopefully everybody on here was foundation, okay? If you're a foundation student, you're taking 510 and 597 this summer. So once you pull out the degree plan, you'll just, you'll put summer 21 on that on 510 and 597. So it reminds you, okay, this is what I'm taking this summer. And then when you get your permit request from her, you'll have to select those two classes on the permit worksheet, 510 and 597, and then send that back to her. And then she'll send you something else. She'll send you the CRN numbers. That's what we call it. And when you register, you have to use those specific number because they're specific to that class, okay? If you put in a different number or if you try to select a different class, it won't let you get in. It has to be specific. So use the number that she sends you. All right? Okay, guys, so that was the end of the orientation. Any questions?
I have a question. When you said that if I start in summer, like if we start in summer as a part-time and in fall, if I want to do full-time or whatever, how do we need to let you know when we are doing the degree form, or do we need to just let you know when the time is coming close?
So you can let me know, this semester because we'll change your degree plan for next semester, okay? So if you're doing, basically, go ahead and fill out your part-time one because you can only take 2 classes, okay? And fill out that one. And then what we'll do is if you are already letting me know now that you're starting full-time in the fall, I'll create a separate degree plan for you as to what, starting in the fall. So starting in the fall, right now you'll have a part-time one, but fall you'll have a full-time degree plan. And I'll select those classes in the order that they need to be. And then I will email that to you and you're going to sign it and then you're going to email it to Janice. But you don't have to do that right now. You can email her that like at the beginning of fall, well, before the beginning of fall, because before she sends you permits. So maybe ending of summer semester,
Yeah,
we'll
I just want to see how the summer goes. I'm going after 3 years and I think I can do it full time, but I just don't want to mess it up either because if the grading system is very, it's certain, I don't want to get C or something to mess up my
your GPA.
GPA. So that's why I was just wondering that how long we have to let you guys know. So if I do summer right now and I will just, part-time, just keep it like that. But if I'm ready to do full-time, if I see that I get hang of it and I can do it better, so I can just go ahead and do that and let you know. Okay.
Yes. So one thing that I want foundation students to know, because it works a little bit different than the AGP, you have 4 classes in the fall that you need to take, whether you're part-time or full-time, and then you have 4 in the spring. However, spring is when you do your foundation field. However, you can't do foundation field before you complete all your foundation classes. So if you don't take full-time in the fall, you only take 2 classes. In the spring, you can only take 2 classes. You're not going to be able to take 4 in the spring because you can't take field. So that's just one thing that foundation students need to really understand. If you want to move faster, you would have to take 4 classes in the fall and your 4 classes in the spring, because the way our classes are offered, if you only take 2 in the fall, you don't have a choice. You can only take 2 in the spring and you have to wait until the following spring to be able to do field, which gives you an extra year. So just to be clear.
And one more thing, I'm so sorry. When you
you're good.
When you said that download the form, so are we going to the student resource area and then clicking on the class schedule? I know that we register for this class like 500, but I just want to make sure that's where we are clicking.
So when you go in there, it's going to be on their content. Okay. And then it's going to say orientation paperwork. And then when you click on orientation paperwork, it'll have all the forms you need to fill out.
So are we going on an app? That's what I was wondering. Are we going on app and then download from there, or it's something else?
So have you been in the 500 course yet?
Well, I registered it the way you guys told us to do. But then when I go to D2L on right, and then I was able to see the PowerPoints. Is it right underneath those?
It should be under that, but if not, just click on content at the top. Okay. And then it'll pull up, it'll show you the orientation paperwork, PowerPoints, and all of that there. But what you're looking for is orientation paperwork.
Okay. I will find it. If not,
okay. I can see if I can pull that up. Let's see.
I was just trying to see if, so I can.
Now let me pull it up so everybody can see like where it is. In the meantime, does anybody else have any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna share my screen so you can see.
Thank you.
So here's the website. I logged in, and then you have apps, faculty resources. You're gonna click on apps, and then you're gonna go to D2L, MyLEO Online D2L. This is where you're gonna find your classes. And so up here is where you select your courses. And so I'm gonna have several because all my classes that I ever taught are on here. So let me find the 500 course. Here it is. So you select the 500 course, and then it's gonna have the welcome sign and all information about the Zooms on there. And like on that homepage as well, as you can see here, it shows you the PowerPoints, the orientation paperwork, the live sessions. So the live session is basically going to be the recording of this orientation. So if you like forgot something, or you could go back and look at that if you need to. So you could either click from it here, and it's going to take you to where those are. And here's what I was telling you. So you have the acknowledgement form, the code of conduct, and you guys would only select foundation degree plan. You guys don't need the AGP, okay? So that's on the first page, you just scroll at the bottom. But if not, you could just click on content right here, and it'll show you, I'll pull up the PowerPoints first, but if you scroll down, you'll see orientation paperwork here. And if you select that, it should come up. Now, I did not create a folder for you to upload those, but I will do that. I'll just do, I'll do it just right now. That way I don't forget. But basically what you can do is just upload it in that folder. Okay, so you just come here and you upload it after you've completed it. And so that way Janice can get it. So that's where you would find all of those.
I have a question. So I registered for this class, but like when I go and look at the courses that I have, it doesn't have that class. And I'm not sure why. No, but it has right here on my schedule. Hold on, let me flip this camera over, however. Oh, right there. But it has it showing that it's on my classes, the orientation. But when I do what you say, it doesn't have any
like
courses.
right up here. Have you clicked on there? The little boxes right here?
Yes, ma'am. And it
Nothing
says you
comes
don't
out?
have, no, it says you don't have any access to any courses. But right here, when I went to go add the class, it has the mandatory orientation listed. But I'm not sure
when did you
why.
register for the class?
Mine's the same. It's saying the same thing to me also.
I went
think
to
I know what
add
the
or
problem
drop
is.
classes.
No, I think I know what the problem is. For some reason, the date on there was selected for June 7th or something. And so we had somebody remove the date, and he fixed it. And for some reason, Banner, which is like a system or something that we use, keeps changing the date back. He said he changed it again this morning, and he was going to monitor it, but apparently it's still not changed. So I will email him again and tell him that we're still having the same problems because you guys can't get into that course to download your paperwork if it's not showing up. So I'll reach out to him again and see if they can get it fixed.
Okay,
And then we'll
thank
send
you.
out an email to you guys and say, hey, it's fixed. Okay?
Thank you.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
yes, ma'am.
All right. Anything else about classes, the way they're offered, what's required, anything else?
No.
Okay. All right, then. Well, let me go ahead and try to see if we can get this fixed, and I'll send out an email to let you guys know that you can go ahead and download all your documents. Like I said, remember, okay, I think someone's on a phone number, and I don't see your name on here. Everybody else use their regular name, right? Where we can have a record showing that you attended orientation. Someone's on a phone number, 817 phone number, and I wouldn't be able to tell who that is. If you can just write your name in the chat, that way we have a record to be able to tell that you did attend orientation. That would be great before I end the Zoom. But for everybody else, you're welcome to leave. Thank you again for attending our orientation. Welcome to the program, and we look forward to seeing you all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank you.